Good afternoon, Master Tanaka. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Helen, friend. We are the gathered fraternity, and we are here to bring you a few words. You are within a medium, let's put it this way, a social medium, and in this social medium, everyone is communicating. You use the word, you use body movement, to generate an interpretation within your way of being. So, when you are using your communication, you intend, of course, to lead your best way of being, but what must be understood is that this best way of being is the way that you have established for yourself. So, when you are living, coexisting, I even put it, among several people, each being is expressing that interpretation of their way of being. So, what is always put? That is, when you respect both yourself and your neighbor, then this coexistence becomes increasingly harmonious. Within this unified consciousness, everyone will vibrate in harmony, which is the collective consciousness. That's why we are always here to advise that respect is a fundamental factor that must always be present in social interactions. When you hear about this word, then, each one of you starts to generate an interpretation of the meaning of respect. So you say that respect is when those rules that you established for your being are fulfilled. But what is always placed? Own rules are own interpretations, so you, in your world, are following your own rules. So, this sequence that you make is, yes, a respectful approach to your being. But what should you watch out for? These rules that you have established for yourself are not the rules that are established for everyone, because even if you say that within a social environment, there are what you call laws, laws that must be fulfilled. So, you started to interpret, of course, that when these laws that men established are fulfilled, then, everyone is respecting, everyone is following within the same procedure, but, observe, these rules that you call laws then, yes, for all of you, we can say that in terms of words, they are common, but what should you understand? That, in terms of interpretation, they are not common, they are, let's say, a general guideline. However, that doesn't mean everyone accepts in the same way, because the state of acceptance and allowing is closely linked to this awareness of the way of being. But how do you understand? When you are in an incarnated plane and everyone is reincarnated through a plan, because everyone is here with a purpose, then I consider it a law that everyone is following their own purpose. So, when you are consciously acting in your life, what are you going to notice? One factor that should always be present is purpose. Keeping a conscious purpose and maintaining a firm intention in your being will provide a clear guideline. Through this guideline, you will realize that this law, which men even establish, becomes simpler to accept, and simpler even to be understood. So, watch, all that must always be present in each of you is the desire to respect yourself and respect your neighbor. Within this desire, within this purpose, even then, you will find that everything you begin to establish for your being within an indoctrination becomes simpler. Self-indoctrination is the way you are leading your own life, but remember, self-indoctrination is not a fixed way. You have, through your power of choice, the possibility of constantly adjusting in this self-indoctrination process. With these words, I bid you farewell. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.